Feeling sleepy? I'm your host, Mr. Creepy. Don't fall into the wishing well. Listen to my stories from hell. Ghosts in the afterlife. The werewolf who chomped his wife. A headless dentist on a ATV. The chicken corpse haunting KFC. Ever seen a vampire on a plane? A zombie slurping brains? While you're in your bedroom smoking Indo, didn't you notice the ghoul at your window? Sit back and relax your bones. Get onto your laptops or your phones. The YouTube address FYI is Mr. Creepy's time to die. Bad evening. I'm your host, Mr. Creepy. Tonight's story is about a poor young lad who witnessed an urban legend materialize before his eyes. Dogman. Boy, that must have been rough. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually rent one of those retired ranger towers. Since I love doing adventurous stuff, I decided for my vacation that I was going to spend a weekend renting one out. When I arrived at the ranger tower, I was greeted by the caretaker who gave me the keys. He also gave me a short tour of the place regarding how to use some of the amenities. After thanking him, he left a few minutes later, finally leaving me alone with the place. And man, was I glad I decided to rent the place out. The area was beautiful. I was surrounded by nothing but trees, mountains in the distance. It was really peaceful. The first night and day after went without a hitch. I'd relax and enjoy the views from atop the tower. I'd then cook some food over a fire down below. Just as the weekend was coming to a close, that's when something happened. As I was getting ready to turn in for the night, I heard a howl from a distance. I figured it was about time that I heard a wolf or something. I hadn't seen so much as a deer the whole time since I had gotten there. But just as I was about to doze off, I heard the howl again, and this time it was even closer. Even if a wolf was getting closer, I figured there was no way it was getting up here anyway. I wasn't even going to bother taking a look outside until I started to hear something running along the trees outside. Now, I have no idea how big wolves get, but the footsteps I was hearing sounded really heavy. That's when I actually became concerned. If it wasn't an animal, then it could be a person, I thought to myself. And with my car parked at the bottom of the tower, I was concerned about my property being messed with. So I got out of bed and took a look outside. But after a few attempts with my flashlight, I wasn't able to spot anything. I did work up the courage to yell, "Hey, you're on private property. If you don't leave now, the cops will be on their way. I also have a firearm." That was a lie. I don't own a firearm since I'm not a hunter. But also, the only thing this place is equipped with is bear mace. I was just hoping my bluff would scare away any possible intruder. But even after my threats, there was still no sign of anything. I thought maybe either he had left or it was an animal after all. But just as I was thinking of going back inside, that's when I spotted a large dark silhouette running from behind a row of trees. But every time I would try to catch it with my light, it would disappear behind another group of trees. The same thing would happen again a few minutes later. And that went on for what felt like an hour, even though I'm sure it was only several minutes. This is when I became seriously worried. Whatever it was either messing with me or testing my defenses. And as much as I wanted to call for help, I was too embarrassed at possibly having authorities come out here, only for them to realize I was scared by a run-of-the-mill forest animal. After a few minutes of silence, I started getting a sense of relief that maybe the thing had finally left. However, just as I started to relax, that's when I would see the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. Right by the outhouse that was located near the bottom of the tower, I saw something peeking from behind it. I didn't even need my flashlight to get a sense of what it was. It was definitely something that looked like a wolf because of its snout, but its body was large like a bear. It was also tall. The outhouse, if I had to guess, was over 6 feet tall. But whatever this thing was, it was crouching over it in an attempt to hide behind it. As soon as I saw it, for some stupid reason, I threw the bottle of bear mace that I was holding right at it. I had no idea if I hit it or not, because I was too busy running back inside. And even then, I still didn't call for help. For the rest of the night, I didn't do anything but hide inside the top of the tower. I cowered in a corner while gripping a flare gun for protection. The whole time, all I could do was listen closely, hoping whatever that thing was wouldn't start walking up the steps located on the lower levels of the tower. After a terrifying couple of hours waiting, the sun finally came up. I worked up the courage to finally take a look outside again, and when it looked like the coast was clear, I got the hell on out of there. I told the caretaker about what had happened, but upon checking, he said he didn't find anything unusual. I did end up paying a small fee, though, for the damaged bottle of bear mace that I threw. Maybe it did hit its target after all. Mr. Creepy here. Friends, we don't care what you thought of tonight's horror story. If you don't stab the like button and slash the subscribe bell, this will happen to you. No, 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 not my leg!